I have no voice.
Me
So
talk? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, everybody, what do y'all think? Do I look like Shirley freaking Temple?
hey everybody,
Okay.
welcome to the Fox Den. I know we were off last week, and it was a well-deserved little break. And then I
We're
went away
always
for
a
the
little
weekend.
off.
Little, uh, she kills me. But yeah, so I went away for the weekend, spent some time with some good friends, and down in Gettysburg, we had a really good time. You know, but now I
And
have
she
no
did not
voice.
miss me at all. And I would, you left, and I had freaking power failure.
I
Two
saw that.
days of power failure. Like shit started to melt, and then, like my ice was water, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Hey,
I
Debbie.
knew I knew you were afraid. You were afraid to lose food. I saw the post. I really
It's
did.
like, yeah, I see it. Okay, whatever.
I don't
Okay,
care. You know
just
I
look,
care.
look, Onyx. He's sleeping. All
Oh,
like,
there he is. Oh, I love him. That's her Shih Tzu over there. So tonight we are going to be talking to Noah Hammond Tyrrell, and we are going to be talking about something that we've never talked about yet on the Fox Den, which
and
are
I think
hemp
it's a
products.
very important. I think it's a very important subject to discuss.
It is. Plus, he does so much more. So, you want to know a little bit more about him? Then here's the bio video, like I always make, and then he'll be with us as soon as it ends. This week in the Foxton with Gina B and Mama D, we have Noah Hammond Tyrrell. He is the co-founder and CEO of Feel Good Hemp, found at feelgoodhemp.org, the only hemp products company that offers a free self-empowerment platform and community to its clients, the Feel Good Library, which you can explore at feelgoodlibrary.com. A New Jersey native, he is currently living in the mountains of Utah with his wife Danielle and baby girl Lakshmi. He is a yogi, coach, entrepreneur whose mission is to help people feel good naturally and live their life to the fullest. Growing up playing baseball, football, rugby, and video games, he lived a typical suburban childhood until a bad breakup in college sent him searching for answers. Since then, he's been on a relentless quest to unlock the secrets of human potential and how to live a deeply fulfilling life. He has created hundreds of videos for YouTube, documenting his journey and giving insights to others. He continues to be an avid learner and practitioner dedicated to the path of spiritual self-realization. A Jersey boy turned spiritual mystic, Noah loves nothing more than to talk about spirit, human potential, and creating lasting change in ourselves and on this planet. He believes that we all have the capacity to be like the Christ or the Buddha and leave a ripple of love that is felt around the world for generations. He is totally committed to helping people unlock their highest potential. And we welcome you to the Fox Den, Noah. Yay! And there's like,
Cool
Yay!
intro.
Okay, yay!
that was his first time seeing it.
What a cool intro. And sorry, everybody, but
And
99% of
The
the beard
beard's
has
changed. The beard's
disappeared.
changed, but it's okay. It's okay. We still got the bald head. We're good.
awesome.
Well, thanks for
So,
having me, guys.
oh, you're welcome. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kristen. Hi, welcome everybody. Share the show.
Hey,
So,
everybody.
so yeah. Now you've been doing this for a long time, right? So now you were being a yogi and all this, so you had to,
Yeah, that's like one heck of a jump. Well, not really, but yeah.
yeah. But so you studied and you know, all of that. Where did you study? Why did you get started in that? And then I want to know how the
You
hemp
took the
products
jump.
came into play.
So I studied in college at Rutgers University at the School of Engineering, and that's actually what sort of sparked my spiritual quest a little bit because studying in college, we went to physics and then quantum physics, and quantum physics is kind of what bridges spirituality and science and mysticism together, and like the ancient wisdom and the modern science is just starting to catch up to the ancient wisdom. And so that's when I first really started to realize how little I knew, and how little we know as a collective, and how sort of like the 3D is such just a tiny little bit of what there is to see and experience and to know. And so that coupled with, as you said in the intro, the bad breakup that started having me study psychology and social dynamics, and really starting to see, like my whole life, I thought I wanted to build robots. That's why I went to school to be an engineer. I was like, I want to build robots. And now looking back on my 13 plus years of like coaching and teaching and at like relentless self-study, I realized that what I truly desire is to understand how things work. And I think the most complex thing to understand is ourselves. And the divinity within us truly is the hardest thing to know, even though it is all that there is. So it's the great mystery of life, right? So it's the thing that really gets me excited every day. And it definitely started though with science. Like my left brain led me into my right brain.
That's really kind of cool.
Nice. That's cool.
So now, how did you start this company?
Well, that's a whole different story. So it was 2018, and I was living in LA. I was newly married to my wife, Danielle, and we got that phone call that no one wants to get, right? Like, Noah, your dad's really sick. He's in the hospital. It's bad. Like, you got to get down here. And my parents, they relocated there in San Diego, and I was in LA at the time where my wife's from. So, of course, we went right down. And, I walked into the room, and he's up on the table, just gray, like lifeless. He'd lost 60 pounds in a month. And he looked like crap, right? I don't know if you guys curse on the show, but he looked like...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He looked like shit.
I never do. But Gina does.
So, and the doctors...
I just do it in French.
I can tell Mama D. Cursing like a sailor over there. No, anyway.
I'm the truck driver. She's the sailor. What can I say?
Okay, cool. We can get down then. We'll have some fun. So yeah, the doctors gave him 3 months to live. That was their diagnosis. It wasn't like, here's what we want to try and here's your percentage chance and blah, blah. It was just like, sir, you have 3 months to live. He had a tumor on his liver about the size of like a mini football. Over 60% of his liver was covered in this giant tumor. And they gave him 3 months to live. So, but I'd already on this quest of, I'd basically been like a spiritual life and business coach, and I'd helped all kinds of people achieve all kinds of goals. And I'd been on this endless journey of studying and learning. Right. So, so I had already studied with a natural healing practitioner who literally healed thousands of stage 4 cancers. And, these people don't make themselves very widely known because they tend to come up missing when they do.
Yep.
But I knew, okay, well, that's what the doctors are saying. And there are other things we can do. So I went home and I said, okay, my dad is kind of like a stubborn, New York City native. Like, I'm not going to get him to go on like
unlike
a raw
his son,
vegan
right?
diet. What'd you say?
Unlike his son, right?
Yeah, well, I'm still stubborn, but I'm working on it.
There you go.
So I just thought, what's the 80-20? Like, what can we do? And the two things that we focused in on, one was vegetable juicing, specifically with lots of beets and carrots, because they're really good for cleansing the liver. And we knew that juicing was a healing modality. My wife had healed her Epstein-Barr syndrome largely using juicing and vegetable broth, or I should say bone broth. And there's a whole documentary, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, about the power of juicing. So I was like, okay, juicing will give him like the raw nutrition to rebuild his liver. And then the other thing that we decided to focus in on was hemp oil. Specifically, there's this Rick Simpson protocol, which is a Canadian guy named Rick Simpson. He's the one who popularized it.
I had him on my show a long time ago, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool guy. And he took a lot of crap for talking about the true healing powers of this plant.
Yes, he
right?
did.
So it's typically called RSO oil, Rick Simpson oil. It's really just concentrated hemp oil. And we went onto a protocol with him where we started with high amount of CBD right away and ramped up THC over time because THC is psychoactive. So you can't start with too much or you're not going to have a good time. But, long story short, 6 weeks into the protocol of everyday hemp oil and everyday 20 to 40 ounces of juicing, the tumor had shrunk by over 30%. And so we knew we were onto something, and during this time, my wife and I moved down from LA and, got a place in San Diego so we could be close. And we were literally like, do we use all organic veggies? Definitely. Absolutely. And yeah, I was literally buying beets by the case. So I would go to the store and I have the grocer go in the back and he'd come out with an entire like cardboard box of like, 30 bushels of beets or whatever. And I would be walking out of the grocery store
So
with
you
my,
can't open up a can and throw it in the blender.
yeah, well, it was beets, it was carrots, it was like lemon. We'd throw a little something in there different every time, but it was almost entirely beets and carrots because we knew that that's what was going to help his liver the most. And we talked to a naturopathic doctor to get that recommendation, because there's different veggies that help different parts of the body, right? Certain veggies are better for your blood versus your liver versus your heart or your kidneys or whatever, right? So yeah, the protocol worked. I mean,
What about lungs?
what's good for the lungs?
My mom's lung cancer is back.
Oh no.
It's like,
Offhand, I'm not 100% sure, but the interesting thing that I've learned about vegetables is that they look like what they're good for. So like if you cut a carrot and you look at it, it looks like an iris. Carrots are good for your eyes. Like if you snap celery, it kind of sounds like a bone breaking. Celery is good for your bones, right? Like if you look at a walnut, it kind of looks like a little mini brain. Like walnuts are good for your brain, right? So I'm trying to think of like what looks like a lung.
Oh, colon.
Colon? Oh, I don't know. What looks?
We're making it work tonight.
Yeah, right.
And you
It's
thought
all
you were
stuff
gonna
that
have
you
it
can
easy.
definitely like Google and look at, and
Yeah, we all have that, Dr. Google.
Dr. Google, man. But you got to know what to type, right? So I'd be like, what vegetables are specifically supportive to the lungs? And what I'll say, to speak to the protocol we did with my dad, THC is very important for an active cancer, right? So CBD is awesomely anti-cancer because it's whole body anti-inflammatory. And so it just, there you go. Like maybe some, cruciferous veggies might be good. Yeah, I dig that as an opportunity or an idea.
I'm sure.
Yeah, trying to get someone to drink a bunch of broccoli juice though. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
I love broccoli. Now that I just found out I do. That's why I asked colon, is because I have diverticulosis.
Is that like cysts?
It's well, it's like a hunk of the colon has like it's like damaged, right? It's mangled. It has like pockets that are like little bulging things, so things get stuck in it. So I can't eat like anything, no seeds, no nuts, no pasta, no
Gina, no
dairy.
pasta.
I know, and I ate it yesterday and today, and I'm paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a whole bunch.
Interesting.
There is a humongous list of things I cannot eat, and the number one on top of the list was popcorn, which was fun because I had gone to the movies with my daughter and my grandson, and we ate a ginormous thing. And then I found out they had things, but the seeds and things get stuck in those little bumps, so then you have
That makes sense.
well, it's like there's osis and itis. Oh, itis, I think, is the one. That's when people get hospitalized. They have a infection because things are stuck in there. So no seeds like tomatoes, no strawberries, no broccoli, no things that all those things get stuck. And I love all those things.
You know what might help? It's a little bit out there, but I know it definitely helps to heal the colon and the lower intestine. Wheatgrass enemas. Yeah. And
okay, Joan, I want to use that. I'm going to use that when I do massages, CBD oil massage.
So my wife spent some time at a place called Optimum Health Institute, or OHI. It's in San Diego, and they have one, I think, in Austin as well. And they do a really great job of actually helping people cure cancers and autoimmune disorders and all kinds of things. And when you're there, you're on a raw vegan diet and you're doing wheatgrass enemas like either once or twice a day, every day you're there. And it's like when you first take, because the wheatgrass, what it does is it actually like it absorbs into the lining and it heals those parts of the body. And so it actually like creates the ability for you to digest your nutrition better. Well, if you think about it, it's like you've got these pockets of damage, right? And then there's stuff crusted to them. So when you put up something that's as, nourishing and fluid like wheatgrass, it's going to break that up and start to soothe that tissue and give your body, because, the body the body heals itself in every single case, even my dad's cancer, where it's like, oh my God, the THC oil healed him. And it's like, yes, it did. But really, at the end of the day, the body heals itself, because there's other people who take the THC oil who have cancer and they don't heal and they die. Right. And I don't want to make anyone wrong one way or the other, whether or not they try a protocol like my dad did. And, because it happens all the time. People do a similar protocol to my dad and it doesn't work, because there's so much more to it. There's, the other things I like to talk about, right? There's karma. There's your destiny. There's these higher order principles that are at play, that are larger than just, say, the physical material of, oh, I put wheatgrass up my butt, or oh, I drank the juice.
Here's my question. Would it help as well if somebody put wheatgrass in their vegetable drink?
Yeah, absolutely. So with my dad, the only other thing that was consistent, we took this powder. It's called Amla, AMLA. It's a berry from India, and it's known as one of the highest antioxidants in the world. And it's super cheap. You can get a big bag of it for like $10 on Amazon. And so we just added that to his juice just to add extra antioxidant kick. And beyond that, like, he didn't really do too much else. But he went hard on those two things.
All right, so here he is. He had gotten his prognosis for 3 months to live with that big ginormous thing on his liver.
Yeah.
You guys come in, you bombard him with the juice, with all these powders and things, and the hemp oils and stuff. Now, the hemp oil was the capsules that you were giving him?
Yeah, we were taking capsules, and like, be specific, he started off on maybe like 50 milligrams of CBD and 5 milligrams of THC 3 times a day. And then after week 1, it ramped up to like 10 milligrams of THC and 75 of CBD. By the end of it, ramping up, he was on about 35 milligrams of THC and probably 200 milligrams of CBD 3 times a day. So he's taking over 100 milligrams of THC and over 600 milligrams of CBD by the end. But then we ramped him back down after the tumor had been obliterated, right? Is Mama D raising her hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know that you finished what you got to say. Generally, it's Gina. I got to interrupt.
Oh, okay.
But this is my way instead of just because I have the bad habit of talking.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
I'll do the same.
For those people who don't know the difference, what's the difference between THC and CBD?
So that's a great question. So both of them are what's called a cannabinoid, right? Which is a funny word, cannabinoids, right? But the hemp plant has over 114 different cannabinoids. Yeah. CBD is one of them. THC is one of them. You're probably hearing about some of these other ones coming out, like CBN, CBG, Delta 8. All these are all cannabinoids, which are just different little compounds that the hemp plant has. And then we have something in our body called the endocannabinoid system. So cannabinoids are totally natural to us. In fact, cannabinoids are passed in mother's breast milk from mother to baby. So we have a whole system of receptor sites in our whole body, this endocannabinoid system. It was discovered in like the early 90s by an Israeli scientist, I believe. And so this system, though, of receptor sites is everywhere. It's in every organ. It's in our brain. It's in our heart. It's in our lungs, our guts. It's in our blood. It's in our bones. It's in our immune system. It's literally throughout the entire body. And what it does is it regulates the harmony of each body system and its own harmonious functioning, right? And so what I love to say to people is that the real miracle is not CBD or THC or any other cannabinoid. The real miracle is you. Like, the miracle is your endocannabinoid system. That's what I mean, too, when I say the body heals itself, right? When we get out of the way and we stop doing what's not natural, the body heals itself. So let me give you an example, right? In the early part of America, right? Like, George Washington was a hemp farmer. Cows love to eat hemp. They love it. It's an amazing food. There's even a guy who just started the hemp cattle company here in the USA, and he feeds his cattle exclusively hemp. They love it, and it makes them really just happy cows, right? Well, guess what happens when you eat a steak from that cow? You get cannabinoids in your body. And your body has cannabinoids.
Free-range chickens, you know, the ones
exactly. And hemp grows like a weed. It's a weed, right? That's why they call it weed. So this stuff used to be everywhere before Prohibition. It was in the 1920s, millions of prescriptions included cannabinoids and or cannabis of some level, right? So this used to be everywhere all the time. You know, if you go walking around in India, you'll be coming through a town in the mountains and you'll just be like, oh, it's a giant field of grass over there. You know what I mean? That's a giant field of marijuana or cannabis or whatever you want to call it, right?
A weed. Yeah.
It's a weed. It grows. It just grows like that. It's but it's acknowledged even, by ancient Indian scriptures as the one of the top 6 healing plants on the planet. Next to like turmeric and ginger and some of these other well-known healing ones. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard that before about people with autism functioning just better in every way because of CBD and THC.
I don't know a lot about this subject. The thing that I do know is what I've heard all the benefits from everybody that I know that uses it.
Back to the endocannabinoid system. That's why with people who don't know that much about it, they think like this stuff sounds like snake oil.
Oh my God! All we're gonna do is get high, and that's what most people think is they're gonna all get high.
Well, that's the stigma for sure. But with CBD, you literally don't get high because THC is psychoactive, but CBD is not.
Yeah.
So CBD doesn't get you high. And all of our products are federally legal in the United States, which means 0.3% THC or less. So not enough to get anyone high. And actually a little bit of THC in your CBD products helps them be effective. I would never, it's called a full spectrum product. I would never buy an isolate without any THC in it because there's science that shows that it's CBD without THC is almost inert. It's just
okay. So for those people, sorry, I didn't put my hand up.
For
those people, the THC is the part of the plant that makes you high.
Right, but in our products, it's literally like 0.3% by volume.
It's like in Canada we have 0.
It's like a homeopathic dose.
Alcohol.
Yeah, it's nothing, right? But it actually makes the CBD product much more effective. So I always tell people that if they really want a medicinal benefit from a CBD product, that you don't want an isolate, you want something that has some minuscule amount of THC in it. Mm-hmm. And for the only people who are like, oh, but what if I have to pass my drug test? The truth is that CBD and THC look so similar to these drug tests that a lot of times, even if you take a CBD isolate, you still fail your drug test. And at the end of the day, all you got to do is take your CBD product to your boss and be like, look, I'm taking this. It's legal. It's not THC. I'm not getting stoned. Like the drug test, give me a better one.
Show that what you just had in your hand, and what do you do? What do you?
Oh, this is my topical balm.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the guy who makes this is the same guy who makes the oil that saved my dad's life, and he still makes our topical balm because it's the best. For a long, and I'll give a tip to anyone out there because I hear it all the time. Like people take our balm, they're like, dude, I tried 3-4 other balms and they didn't do anything. And then I put yours on and the pain went away right away, right? I have knee pain or ankle injury or whatever. The reason is because we have 1,000 milligrams of CBD in this 2-ounce tin, 500 milligrams per ounce. Mm-hmm. Most balms, if you look at them, they're 200.
That's where I got confused. Yeah, when all of this first started, right? My sister Kim is a mess. She had that. She had that little cream in a jar. Putting it on. She had a really bad neck at that time, and I mean I have arthritis and everything in my neck, and it's been killing me since I was 17. So she put just the tiniest little dab, I swear to God, on my neck, and I was like, oh wow, that's awesome,
nice.
And it worked right away. So I wanted to go try to buy some. Now I go into the store, and it's new, but there is like literally, so many different products on there with all these different, doses or milligrams of this and that. I'm like, I don't even know. I get like that in the grocery store, right? I get like totally confused to the point where I just want to say, fuck this and walk away.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Another weighing on my castle. Sorry.
And I was just like that when I was trying to get, this cream that she had, and then I couldn't get her on the phone. So I was just like, but so I never got it. And then it was expensive, so I don't want to pay that much money.
For something you're not sure which is
and not get the right thing.
Yeah.
So do you want me to talk a little bit about what to look for when you're buying these products?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's really simple. And the thing that makes me laugh as an owner of a CBD business is that every company likes to say, we have the best products. And they
Yeah.
all say it. We have the best products. It's like, you don't know that. there's no way to know that. But what you can know is whether or not you have a quality product. And so here's what to look for to know you're getting a quality product. First off, like I said, it should be full spectrum, meaning it should have a little bit of THC in it. If it doesn't, it's just not as effective, period. Right? So full spectrum products, they'll be called full spectrum, right? Versus isolate. Okay. Full spectrum products, they should be made with organic hemp grown in the USA or grown in the country that you're in, right? So if you're in Canada,
You
it should
saw
be
my head
organic
twitch,
hemp.
right?
Yeah. And what does organic really mean? It means it's not going to have pesticides. It's not going to have herbicides. The other thing that you want is a good absorption medium, right? So like our tincture, for example, is an MCT oil, right? It's just a high quality absorption medium, right? Olive oil is a good one too. MCT oil, highly refined coconut oil. That's a good thing for you to have. The other thing to look for is a medicinal dose, right? And I would say for the average person, a medicinal dose starts at 30 milligrams, right? So like our tincture is 1,000 milligrams. So one dropper full is 33 milligrams, right? Same with our soft gels. They're 30 milligram tablets, right? So often what I see and what really gives CBD a bad name, so many products, they're like sleep tincture and it's got valerian root and lavender and it looks all pretty. And then you look at it and it's got 12 milligrams of CBD per serving or 8 or 15 or 20. And for most people, that's not going to be enough, right? To give it perspective, my grandma, she's 95 years old. She takes 100 milligrams a day. She takes 30 milligrams 3 times a day. Okay. With it,
She's still dancing around the house.
she has quality of life with it. Without it, she has full body arthritis. She's 95 years old. Right?
So that answers the Debbie in the chat room. She says, look, she's gonna move me again. People stop it. Oh look, Bob's in the house. Okay. She says, I have bad arthritis in my legs and people keep telling me to use CBD creams.
Yeah, I would check out our balm. Obviously, I'm biased and I think ours is the balm. But here's what makes our balm awesome is that it has 1,000 milligrams of CBD in it, as well as the other things that are in it. It's made from this guy's hemp, which is amazing. But if you, for whatever reason, don't want to buy ours, just look for something that is a similar concentration, 500 milligrams per ounce. I'm just now seeing our competitors and other companies out there making balms of this concentration. But for the longest time, nobody had this concentration. The only reason we knew, I'm not some genius, definitely helps neuropathy. Absolutely. So what you're going to see with CBD is that it's a whole body anti-inflammatory and it helps every system in your body work better. Yeah, it's the balm. Our balm is the balm. I say it all the time. But yeah, so the only reason we knew to make it such a concentration is because the guy who made the oil that saved my dad's life, he'd been doing this on the down low for 20 plus years. He'd been helping people survive their cancers and survive their autoimmune disorders and heal things that weren't supposed to be healed for 20 plus years. But on the black market, doing it with cannabis. So he already knew, like, no, that's not enough. Like we got to put 500 milligrams per ounce. That's when people really feel it and when it really works. Right. So again, you don't have to buy ours, but if you get one that's at least 500 milligrams per ounce, that is, made with a full spectrum CBD oil, right? You don't want an isolate. And I also just tell people to get something natural, like we don't put, like gummies are really popular and people really love gummies. And I just personally feel like you don't have unneeded sugar in your wellness supplement, unless gummy is the only way you can imagine getting one of these things down. But we have like soft gels where you don't have to taste the oil, tinctures you drop under the tongue. And if I had something like neuropathy, where obviously neuropathy comes with like specific pain, usually down the legs and things like that, I would take both an internal and a topical. I would rub the topical where the pain is directly, and then I would take an ingestible like a tincture or soft gel as well to give your full body that effect. Because again, so the way this works, it's a misnomer, right? People think that I give my body cannabinoids, it nourishes this endocannabinoid system and everything works better. It's actually what happens is it's kind of more like an SSRI, right? A serotonin reuptake inhibitor, these mental meds. They don't give you serotonin. They stop you from digesting and destroying the serotonin that your body's already making, so you naturally have more. And that's kind of what CBD does. It soothes these receptor sites, and it stops your body from digesting its endocannabinoids or its endogenous cannabinoids that it's already making. So you have more. And then your body functions better because the ECS is nourished with what it needs. It's the more accurate way to describe it. But at the end of the day, that's why I just want people to understand. That's why we hear people talking about it for everything from sleep to pain to weight loss, blood sugar management. I mean, a woman interviewed me a couple weeks back who was bedridden with Crohn's disease. She got diagnosed earlier this year. She couldn't work. She couldn't do her show. She couldn't get out of bed. Horrible pain, horrible symptoms. 5 days of taking 100 milligrams of CBD per day, and she was nearly symptom-free. And within weeks, she was completely better. And now she has Crohn's, but she has no symptoms and no change to her quality of life. They just tell you that you never heal that thing. Just like, my dad still has liver cancer, even though he has been completely cancer-free for 4.5 years now. In the Western medical modality, they just sort of assume the worst.
Right. Now, I mean, I've been having, like a couple of years, really, literally from hell. Doctor, trying to figure out what's going on with me, lose my voice for absolutely no reason. All these things are going on, and it's just like, and I got more tests coming up, and I'm like,
It can't hurt. That's at the end of the day, it can't hurt. It can only help, and it's worth a try.
Yeah. What would be the best thing to try, like the soft gels or the oil?
I would do the oil, especially since you're having any kind of gut or digestive issues. Not that the soft gels are hard to digest. I mean, they're soft gels for God's sakes, but it's just the purest form. And for, if I was dealing with any kind of gut issue, I would just go for the oil straight up. If you don't mind the taste, it's kind of like a sweet hoppy flavor. We do a natural oil, and you just drop it under the tongue for 30 seconds and then drink it down with some water. And to be honest, since you're already dealing with stuff, I would start and try 30 milligrams. And if it's not like knocking you on your butt because you're super sensitive to cannabinoids or something, I would probably be doing 50. What'd you say, Mama?
I said, I'd love to see Gina as high as a kite, please.
Well, you know what? Honestly, most people will feel the CBD like the first couple times they take it. But after that, not so much. Right? So I always suggest that people take it for their first time in the evening, but not right before bed, because what I've seen with my clients is 80% of people, when they take their first doses, they feel relaxed, they feel dropped in, they feel like, oh, I'm ready for bed, right? 20% for some reason feel energized. And they're like, I feel great, I'm awake. And the only theory that I have about that is that the CBD is like taking inflammation out of their body, and it's liberating energy that their body was using to fight inflammation. So now they're like, oh, I'm going to go organize the garage, right? Like, so.
Don't do that to Gina, please.
But I tell people to do, so that's why I say like take it at like 7 o'clock or something, because if you do get some energy from it, it's not going to keep you up through the night. And what I've seen is that those people who get energized, usually that after the first like 3 or 4 doses goes away. So I always tell people to at least try 3 times, and like, don't take CBD once, try it at least like 3, 4, 5 nights, see how your body starts to feel. Most people feel great after the very first time, but some people it's like, you want to take it a couple times and see how it goes.
What's sublingual?
She's talking about dropping it under your tongue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See how much I know? Zip.
Yeah, no, but that is a great way to do it. And again, not to go back to the wheatgrass thing, but the woman who healed her Crohn's disease, she was actually taking 100 milligram CBD suppositories. So she was putting CBD right at the affected area, and I know you're dealing with colon stuff, so it could be, I'm not trying to force anything, Gina, but I'm just.
It's way up top, though. I don't know.
I'll smoke it. Thank you. I'll smoke it. I'll eat it. I'll drink it, but I'm not.
I got my bad lungs. I can't smoke anything. So, thank you, COVID. Thank you.
I'll smoke it for you, okay?
I got COPD and emphysema from getting COVID.
Hey, look, I am 100%. I am 100% okay, we up here in Canada, it's legal. People smoking it, but before it became legal, I had an aunt who had lung cancer, and she was. This was before I knew much of anything about anything except for the smoking part. And she could not eat because everything tasted nasty and disgusting. So I went out and a couple of friends used to grow it, sell it, whatever. And I bought it and I rolled it for her and I gave. She goes, I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I said, fucking shut up and eat. Excuse my language. You smoke this damn thing. Here you go. Smoke this damn thing. She was able to eat, so she stopped losing weight. It didn't do a whole lot of, like to extend her life because of the cancer, but she was able to eat. She was the what time she had left, she was able to have a little bit more of a better lifetime for the time that she had left. So like, I'm sorry, I'm like 100% for it.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I mean, hey, I'm not. I don't down anybody for doing anything that makes them feel good. I really don't. Some people are very, old school and like a drug is a drug is a drug.
Yeah.
You don't do drugs, and then that's it. There's no gray.
That's really just propaganda, though, because cannabis is in the United States. It's technically still so. Cannabis. The difference between cannabis and hemp, right, is just the THC concentration. Mm-hmm. So if it has 0.3% THC or less, it's considered hemp. If it has more than that, it's considered cannabis. Cannabis is still a Schedule I drug. The definition of Schedule I means it has no known medicinal benefit, period.
I call BS.
Exactly. It's absolute BS. And
as much as I love,
we are so close, and I'm sure that in the next 5 to 10 years, we will see it cannabis become federally legal. Hemp became federally legal in 2018, and all of our products are made from hemp, and are legal in all 50 states. Right. So it's really just about re-educating people from the propaganda.
Like I said, I know in Canada we're legal to a certain extent. You're not allowed to for personal use, but isn't it legal in certain states to have it?
Oh yeah, it's legal in like 30
Colorado?
states. I'm not sure how many at this point, but it's like more and more every year. It's tons of
states. Well, they've
states.
made it legal, but then you still have to go through the 900 million steps to get it, and then you got to be on a list, and you got to wait.
It depends. There's recreationally legal, and then there's medically legal. So in a state like Utah, medically legal, I got to get a medical card. I have to be, in the system as having a medical card for medical cannabis, right? In a state like Nevada or in a state like California, anyone 21 and older can walk in off the street and buy whatever they want with just showing an ID that proves your age. So it depends state by state.
Sorry.
I don't smoke, even though everyone else is assuming so because of my name. But CBD has helped me in the past. Gina, I highly recommend it. I'm going to order it because I'm out. There you go.
Awesome.
Good. So I'm going to put this banner back up here again. Okay.
Yeah. And I put the link to your website in all the 3 places. So it's in our YouTube, on my channel, and on Gina's page. So if it's in there, go over, follow the link, check it out. You know what? It's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. Now I'm going to shut up.
And you know what? For support on the buying side of things, another thing that people don't know is like price. You see the one that's $100 and you see the one that's $50, and you're like, is the $50 one bad or is the $100 one extra good? Mm-hmm. And what I'll tell you is that our tinctures, we charge $73 retail. And then if people subscribe, we give huge savings to people who subscribe, and they're $55 even with free shipping and all that. And I would say that paying somewhere in that range for 1,000 milligram tincture, $55 to $75 is where you're getting a quality product at a quality price. So many of my competitors are still selling that same quality 1,000 milligram tincture for $119, $125, $99, whatever. And at this point, honestly, they're just price gouging the market. People don't know any better.
Look and see what the quality of the product. If the $100 one is the same price as the $50 one, then hello.
Exactly. That's why I'm telling people, like, all you need to look for is that it's full spectrum from organic hemp grown in the USA, that it's in a high quality absorption medium, that it has a medicinal amount of CBD per dose, and that it's got quality ingredients, that it's as natural as possible. Like, and if you find products that are those things, whether they're our products or anybody else's, you're good to go, right? But if you find isolates, a lot of these products, you find these cheap isolates, This is like sometimes illegal hemp coming in from China even. Go ahead, Gina.
She's got her hand up.
Yeah.
I want to shut up now.
Hi. I just want to, all I want to say, and then I'll let you guys yap away. All right. On this ad right here, on the top here, it says www.feelgoodlibrary.com. You're the only site that actually has this. I'm going to ask you about that, what that is, and what's on there. Okay. But the site to get the products is the www.feelgoodhemp.org. All right, so you got feelgoodlibrary.com and feelgoodhemp.org. So those are the sites. Do look him up, and he's on Facebook and Twitter and Insta and all that kind of stuff as well. And he on YouTube he has a lot of things up there.
Yeah.
But now talk about the Feel Good Library.
Yeah, please.
So Feel Good Library is something that my wife and I couldn't help but make because, I've been doing this self-development coaching and teaching and guiding for so long. And it's a simple fact that we are multidimensional beings and that healing is a multidimensional experience. We're not just physical beings. Mm-hmm. We are emotional beings. We're mental beings. We are, we carry memory not only in our brains, but also in our hearts and in our guts and in our cells. So in yoga, they call it the mental body because there's literally an entire body of mental energy. Every cell has a memory, right? And so when we talk about things like releasing trauma from the body and healing old emotional hurts and releasing stuck emotional energy, on the Feel Good Library, we have all kinds of resources. My wife is a sound healer and a yoga teacher. And so she has free sound healings, which is vibrational medicine. Mm-hmm. She has Kundalini yoga sets specifically for anxiety or for depression or for overthinking and all these kinds of things. I teach techniques for releasing emotional energy, trapped emotional energy from the body. Nadine, we're located, I'm currently located in Utah, although I'm about to move back to Southern California. But we're not in stores. We're totally online, and it makes it easy for us. But we'll probably be in some farmers markets in SoCal coming soon. But yeah, the Feel Good. Yeah. And
okay.
Sorry. I'm also loving your hair, Shirley Temple.
Okay, Mary Jane, because at the beginning of the show I said don't I have the Shirley Temple look going on, except I make it even worse because I'm a redhead and I got the temper to go with it.
I don't know if you can tell. I'm a redhead too. I just don't have that much head to
show.
See
it in there.
I know mine's red too, but it comes out of a box.
That's okay. We're 3 redheads in the Fox Den tonight.
There we go. Well, foxes are red, so. But here's an interesting story to illustrate why we made the Feel Good Library. And of course, if you just want to take the CBD, it does great stuff. And that's why we sell the products, of course. And if you want to complement that by diving deep into some of these other topics that support it, that's what it's there for. So I don't know how the doctors knew this, but when my dad was diagnosed with his tumor, they said, we think this tumor has been growing for about 10 years.
Wow.
And if you flash back to 10 years prior, it's 2008. It's the big recession that came in that year. And my dad is running a multi-million-dollar family wedding and event photo video production company in New Jersey, right? And 80% of that industry gets wiped out during the recession, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got to fire everyone. He's got multiple offices. They all closed down. It all hits him so hard. Even some people's projects didn't get finished with integrity because he had to let go of his whole team of editors. Like, it just imploded on him, right? Everyone decided, hey, Uncle Joe, film with your camera. We're not paying $5,000 for professional production, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we cannot ship to Australia. All 50 states only. For right now,
can't even ship to Canada, okay? Because the Border Patrol will be like,
in the future, we're looking to work with partners to help us reach more distribution like that. But anyway, so the doctor said this has been coming for 10 years. Well, guess what? In traditional Chinese medicine, they say that excess anger gets stored in the liver, right? So do you think my dad and my dad did go into a deep depression after this and sort of became like a shell of himself for 10 years. And on the flip side, on the other end of all this plant medicine and all this life or death experience and all this prayer and everything he was like way back to himself. His light was back. His humor was back. He was more accessible, like emotionally and spiritually. And so it wasn't just a physical healing. It was an emotional healing. It was a spiritual healing. And that's true about all healing. And so that's why, exactly, like THC does impact your subtle energy. I don't know if it would necessarily alter your chakras, because I think chakras are a little bit more, I mean, yeah, why not? I'm not the authority on whether or not it would alter your chakras, but certainly your aura, and certainly your subtle energy, and certainly with the amount of that my dad took, you're having a reconfiguration of your being, right? Because he was on 110 milligrams of THC per day. Well, it'll change a man.
Yeah, for sure.
It will. It absolutely will. Well, we have Athena is in with us already, so I don't know.
She's early. Okay,
she's
soccer
late.
mom.
She might have to. Yeah, she might have to leave us early. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play her little intro thing, and we're going to let her talk about her crystal of the week, which is really actually good for this.
Yes.
Aw, hi, loves. Thank you for that beautiful intro. I am Athena Barry, Reiki master and author of award-winning book, Raise Your Vibes, and creator of crystalreikihealer.com. And I'm so grateful to be back here for another week on the Foxen Show and sharing our Crystal of the Week segment. So let's dive in. For this week's show, and I know I'm early here, so thank you for letting me pop on. I don't know how that worked out. But yes, for this week's show, I really felt called to the energy of hematite. So hematite has this these beautiful healing qualities of balance, grounding, protection, and manifesting. Hematite helps you balance the divine feminine and the divine masculine within you. So this balances, opposites and bringing resolution to any polarities within the physical body and the spiritual body. And in this way, it assists you in integrating both your higher frequencies of the spirit world, as well as staying connected to the earth and to your body. So when you think of yin yang, think of hematite as being that beautiful balance. This stone is also wonderful for balancing your auric field, as Noah was saying earlier. Yes, this balances our auric field as well as our chakras by kind of pulling away any stray or chaotic energy, high Mercury retrograde. But it pulls this energy, this anything not serving down through the meridians to your root chakra, so you're really grounded and feeling a lot more centered. It's also wonderful as a tool for healing any blood-related ailments, so influencing the iron within our blood for healthier production, for flow to our actual physical heart, while detoxing the liver. So interesting, again, polarity there with Noah's comments about holding anger in the liver. This one really helps to detox that and let you release it. So likewise, if you have, if you're having a hangover, whether it's spiritual or physical, or even from medication side effects, hematite is really great at clearing away, anything that's causing that kind of mental fog, and helps to have you run on, like a full tank of gas or a full tank of energy, if you will, to help you get through each day and having the energy to do that. Hematite activates, like I was saying, our root chakra. So this really gives you that strong, steady, strong center and allows you to feel confident, so that when you go out into the physical world, you're doing so using your intuitive direction and following your purpose. So often, as we're exploring the spiritual world or getting into all things, spiritual, we can tend to get a little bit lost on our journey or a little confused in what's right, what's our purpose, where are we going? And this one really kind of helps center you, ground you into, so you know where you're going, what your direction is, what your purpose is. So if you've ever felt, intuitively that, you're not going where you're meant to in life, hematite is really good at kind of pulling you back to center so you can see a little clearer on where you're going. And you can hold it in your pocket, wear it as jewelry. It's really great as accents. You'll see it a lot as accents on jewelry, bracelets, of course. I love to use this. And it's a very heavy stone. I mean, if I were to drop this right now, you would hear a big clunk. So small pieces, if you're carrying it in your pocket or your bra, are great. Otherwise, you're really going to kind of feel that weight. And this stone really kind of helps with its weight, give you that strength, a reminder of your strength so that you can move forward with your dreams, with your goals, and, kind of see the silver lining in, any of the challenges that you're going to face in life. As such, hematite is like the perfect stone for manifesting. So when you've had, let's say a spiritual awakening or a vision of what you're manifesting, this stone really connects those manifestations, those dreams, those goals to our physical plane. So it makes it easier for those wishes to, for you to see them fulfilled in the present and not just, running around there in your mind. As it does this, it's connecting that spiritual energy, our intuition, our thoughts, our dreams, into our physical world. Remember, we're all physical beings here. We live on Earth, and this is our home. So having that connection to the physical plane is really wonderful. And when it comes to manifesting, this one's really great for things like all physical things. So like money, our health, expelling toxins or illnesses, even for, getting that new home or the job that you've been dreaming about, and really anything related to our physical realm. This stone, hematite, it allows you also to kind of transcend any of those thoughts or beliefs of what you thought is acceptable as possible, right? Letting you, go ahead, reach for the stars, without those worries or self-sabotaging thoughts that kind of tend to get in the way during your manifesting, especially, and make you think, oh no, that's silly, it can't happen. Well, working with hematite kind of puts aside those thoughts, so you're those self-defeating thoughts, so you're really focused and can move forward. So you actually can now create positive actions towards your goals and actually make them come to fruition into your physical world and into your life here in the present. Likewise, hematite is wonderful for protection. So especially not just those negative thoughts, protecting you from yourself, it's also wonderful as a protection stone for people that you're close to, people that you know, maybe even like family that you've been struggling to see eye to eye with. When you're super grounded in your energy and in your purpose, even the most, hurtful insults or arguments won't faze you or throw you out of balance, or make you, stop believing in your own personal truths. So if you're planning to see one of these difficult people in your lives, grabbing a piece of hematite will be very helpful in any communication that you have with them. Likewise, ways you can use this stone, like I was saying, as jewelry. You'll see it as accents. I also really love to use hematite. I was going to show you, I have a crystal grid on my desk, but you can't see it. It's wonderful for your crystal grids. So if you're manifesting, whether it's a job, it's protection, it's your healing, your health, this one, keeping this one as the center stone really keeps all of those wishes, all of those manifestations grounded at the center, at the core. If you are like me and you like to sleep with crystals, this one is really nice to keep at the foot of the bed versus under your pillow, just because it is such a grounding stone, because it is so wonderful for our root chakra. Keeping it next to our feet or at the foot of the bed really kind of helps us in our waking hours to be putting our right, the right foot forward, if that kind of makes sense. You'll see this stone also, Yes, in the bra, in the pocket. And then also, of course, it's wonderful to, hold on as that heavy, nice, solid reminder of your purpose and staying centered while you meditate. And, whether it's next to you or in your hands, I prefer to hold it because you really have that focus of what's keeping you grounded and centered. And if you're interested and you want to incorporate this stone into your manifesting rituals, you can check out my own YouTube channel, Crystal Reiki Healer, if you feel called to. And I have some examples so you kind of know what I mean when it comes to manifesting rituals and crystal grids. And of course, I like to leave you all with a wonderful affirmation to help you connect with your crystal's energy. And for hematite, I really love, I am grounded and balanced, knowing I am divinely protected as I see my dreams enter my reality. And that wraps it up for our crystal segment of the week. Thank you so much, ladies, for having me join you. I hope that this has brought value to your show. And Noah, thank you so much for being here and sharing, your story and helping others on their journey.
Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the stone, and that is crystalreikihealer.com. You can just check out her videos and her on Instagram and everything. She puts all these things out. She puts a lot of time, effort, energy into this. And I just got to say, your bed must be one rocky place.
Oh my goodness. My husband used to laugh like, what? She's sleeping with rocks now. What is this? I'm like, just be lucky it's only rocks.
In the
bed, under my pillows. I sneak them under the pillow and his, just because, we spend so much time in our beds, right? We spend so much time there. It's like the perfect opportunity to have that passive, connection and energy balance with our crystals. So
I always
it makes sense to me.
Would it make the same thing, like being, if you don't want it in your bed or under your sheets or under the fitted sheet or something so you don't lose it, would it be just as beneficial to put it under the bed?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I have a platform bed, so I can't put it under my bed. But yes, if it's raised off the floor, I mean, you can even create a crystal grid under your bed, if that's your thing. You can totally do that. Likewise, you can use your nightstand. I mean, I also have, because why not? I also have a little dish that I keep on the bedstand, with just, and I'll change them out, depending on what energy I feel like I need, or, what will support me. Retrograde. This one is, this one is sending me for a tizzy. Oh, I love, yes. Oh, I love it. Yes, I brought mine out too. I love this stone, and it's got a really nice shine to it. So depending how it's cut.
And it's not expensive. Hematite is not expensive.
Totally inexpensive. And you can find it everywhere. In fact, anybody who has crystal jewelry, just have a look. If they're darker stones, typically they'll mix them with little pieces of hematite, just because it's beautiful and gives that bit of shine. So
right. I think that one's not it. I have another one that has hematite mixed in too. I just got this in Gettysburg.
Oh, good.
Tiger eye one. I've had tiger eye. I have tiger eye. But this one's like this one's really round stones, and these are more natural, But I told you, I'm getting back into the tiger eye for some reason, but I just saw that at the Gettysburg.
That inner strength. Yeah, that inner strength. You've had a lot of health stuff going on. So, you're kind of, you're intuitively drawing in your inner strength. And now, wrong way. And now you've got.
Welcome to my world.
I know. Wait, where am I going? Yes, and now you've got Noah over here. And I mean, I am all for that. When I was healing post-op, when I had my own back surgery, they had me on all kinds of medications that just really did not sit with me, and I had terrible responses, reactions, side effects. My kids were scared of me. I was talking like a crazy person, and I told my husband, like, I got to get rid of this. Like, get me something else. Like, come on. So even today I have, in my first aid kit, if anybody has, a muscle ache or something like that, I have CBD cream in there. Because why would I not use something that's natural that works, right? And if you get a good, high quality one, like what this way,
Opposite world.
Opposite world. No, if you've got this great stuff that Noah has, I mean, his testimony alone is enough to tell you that these natural products, we're not giving Mother Earth enough credit, and crystals are one of the gifts of Mother Earth. Hemp is one of the gifts of Mother Earth. If it grows in the ground, it's, chances are that's going to be a lot healthier for you than something that's made in a lab. Not to say you should do what I did and cut out all your medication instantly. I'm definitely not saying you should be as crazy as I am.
Yeah, but wean up nice and slowly.
Yes, do a little, be gentle. Keep in mind, your body also has a physical response anytime you start a medication or you stop a medication. So it's always good to just be gentle, with your physical body. You only get one this lifetime. So you've got to be, be kind to it.
Athena, are you in Southern California? I know California's a big ass state, but
I know it's huge. Yes, I am in Southern California. So the biggest, I'm part of Los Angeles County. I'm in Calabasas.
Moving back to Southern California.
I'm moving to Ventura at the end of the month.
Oh my God, we're going to be neighbors. Yeah.
Calabasas is not far.
Yeah, super close. I'm actually going to be camping with the kids up in Ventura County this summer. Yeah.
And my mother-in-law is a certified crystal healer. And my wife is a sound healer playing those crystal singing bowls.
Yeah, you see her bowl.
Maybe there'll be some collaboration in the future.
I think we should grab some hematite and manifest that. What do you think?
Sounds good.
I think so.
I put a note. I said, add hematite to my work desk.
I think so.
Always.
I vote yes.
And you know what else too? Like hematite, like why I wear a lot of hematite and the rings especially too. It's like when I go on paranormal investigations, it does collect all the negative energy and the negative vibes and things and negative, a lot of times you go into a place and it's just negative.
Heavy, yeah.
These things, and very heavy, and overbearing. But these will absorb all that. And then when it's full, it will break. Yeah. And then you get another one. And you've got to get rid of it. You can't keep it. Don't keep the pieces, even though you want to. It's full. It's done its job. You can get rid of it.
Or stick it in a plant. You can put it. You can put it in a plant and let Mother Earth do her thing, cleanse. But keep it with the plant. Don't take it back and raise it.
Selenite also does a good job.
People likes plants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I love that. No, definitely. And it does break easy, especially like the little beads and stuff. They can shatter quite easy. Same with tourmaline. These ones are just, it's the nature of the way when you're dealing with energy. So luckily with hematite, it's an inexpensive stone, so it's pretty easy to replace. Yeah, it's like
$3, I think.
Yeah, they're not bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can get a big, a huge necklace with a big cross on it for like $15. You know what I mean? It's not
maybe more than 15 here in Calabasas, but
there. But here, or actually Amazon. Just go look up hematite jewelry on Amazon.
And that's one of those stones that you don't really see a lot of like the fake ones made because it is an inexpensive stone, and you always kind of tell because it's really heavy. The ones that are magnetized are not true hematite, so I maybe wouldn't go with the magnetized ones. But just the regular old hematite is super easy to find and inexpensive, and like I said, you'll see it a lot. I mean, this one it's actually a tourmaline and lava stone protection necklace that my husband got me, but it's got little beads, accents of hematite in it, so you'll see that a lot.
That's gorgeous. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Nadine from Malibu commented, Noah, you mentioned that your wife is a sound healer. I feel that CBD and THC enhances the sound healing experience.
I love that comment, Nadine, because actually the way that we officially started this company was, oh, Athena's leaving us.
Oh, I was just giving a heart to Nadine. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a goodbye. I was like, oh, I gotta let Athena say bye.
I know, I don't know how long she can stay with us.
No, but what happened was, so my wife's a sound healer, and we saw what happened with my dad, and so we said, let's do a CBD sound bath, and we did one up in Topanga Canyon in LA, and we sold CBD doses as like an upsell to the sound bath ticket. And like 70% of people took it, and we could just feel, it was the most peaceful vibe we had ever felt in the room during a sound bath. And at the end, I was like, hey guys, I got some extra left over, 2 for 1, we'll sell you the doses. And we sold out of everything in like a minute. And so then the next morning, my wife, who loves to sleep in, popped up out of bed. I was like, I can't sleep, let's get up. And so we're sitting on the porch having like a morning matcha. She's like, I think we should start a CBD business. And I'm like, that's a great idea. Like, because people just don't know enough about this stuff. And at the time, 2018, it was before the wave of businesses came out. And so we just said, yeah, let's get the product to the people. Like, people need access to the good stuff and to know more about it. And so it was like my next mission was born there. And it kind of came out of a sound bath. So we'll be having CBD sound baths in LA, SoCal, Ventura area, definitely coming soon. We're looking forward to getting back to it.
I love that. Maybe I'll pop in one of those and do a little crystal Reiki while we're at it.
We've done collaborations before like that.
I love that.
Here on the Foxton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It started with me as a guest here on the Foxton. I mean, it's amazing how the way your path leads you, and you meet certain people that you just you can connect with. You're on that same vibration, and then beautiful things come from it. It's really nice. And Nadine, speaking of Nadine, yes, I gave her a big hug for you girls at our last beach event. I made sure to remember, so we had a really nice embrace and talked how much we love your show and how much she learns. And she's like, oh my gosh, I keep buying all these books now.
Sorry.
Hey, Mayor.
I know I have so many of them.
It's okay. Yeah.
I'm going to take some to the ones that I've read that I really, really, really love that I can't part with are mine. But some of them I read that I think I should share. And I think I might just take a stack of my books from the next event that we're going to be doing. And I think I might just, hand them out.
Oh, I love that.
Just
pay it forward, right? Yeah.
Other people need to know.
Yeah, I love that.
All right,
well, ladies, thank you so much for having me. Noah, I don't want to take away from your show. I know you have so much to share with everyone, and thank you for letting me come on. And I hope that this added a little value to your show here. And ladies, thank you so much for having me.
Love you.
I love you.
Nice to meet you, Athena.
Oh, so nice to meet you too. And I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Yes, that'll be wonderful. All right. Bye, loves.
Bye, gorgeous.
See you next week.
I'll see you next week.
You know why she was here early, right? Because we weren't here last week and she missed us.
Yes. Yeah, she did. We missed her. Yeah. She's soccer mom, so she's the, she's in between, pick the kids up, drop the kids off. And this is there's so many comments going on over here right now.
We've been keeping up on it.
Aloha. I am Soul Tribe family. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I know. I loved the fact that she gave you those hugs.
Yes.
And yeah, Mary Jane, when did we meet? I thought we met like investigating. Didn't we meet investigating? Or was it the show? I can't remember.
We meet so many people with this show, and you meet so many people. I'm looking forward to the day that they take my picture off the border patrol that won't let me into the States, and just take that. Crazy woman, don't let her cross to the States. There you go. So,
all right. So now, all right. I want to reel us back in, because this is I do have a list of questions over here, but this one here really sticks out. And Are there any negative side effects to these products that you have seen or heard of?
Well, no is the short answer. Of course, I caveat that with saying like it's entirely possible that someone's allergic to hemp or allergic to cannabis. That's not possible.
I met Mary Jane at the Gentleman's Club.
I have
was-
a girl
that
I
was-
used.
But wait. That was us investigating a Gentleman's Club.
Yeah, sure. We believe you. I believe you. Really, I do.
We did. We investigated the strip
Okay.
club.
Is there any ghosts in there?
Yes.
You'd be amazed at where spirit hangs. I had a girl I used to work with, and she says she's allergic to marijuana, and she physically breaks out into a rash. When I used to work at a convenience store, when clients used to come in and would smell of it. Now, I never saw her physically break out, but that's how she would put it. And I was like, I don't think it's possible, but hey.
That's the only thing. So for a while, there was this sort of like, I believe, big pharma sort of endorsed pushback that CBD could be bad for your liver. And I'm just sitting here going, guys, I helped my dad heal massive liver cancer by giving him enormous amounts of CBD.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's true.
How is Dad now, by the way?
Dad is great. Dad actually just got told by his doctor that instead of doing blood work and MRIs every 3 months, which he's been doing now for 4+ years, having completely clean blood work, completely clean MRIs every 3 months, they're like, you can come every 6 months. She's like, I can't really say this, but I don't think the cancer is coming back. But you never know. But even for a doctor to even say that,
I can say it, but I can't say it. I never
wow.
said it. No, totally with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean, everybody else who was diagnosed with the stage 4 liver cancer in the same liver cancer specialist ward that he worked with is dead, right? So
can I ask this though? Now, okay, when you're on all these other medications, and say you introduce this, there, hopefully there won't be any reaction between that and any medications that you're taking.
yeah.
But you still have to keep taking the medications that you're taking at the beginning. But like, would you be able to lose those medications? I mean,
Well, I'm going to definitely leave that up to every single person individually. So what I'd say is that there are tons of people I know who were on chemical pain pills, pharmaceutical pain pills that just naturally saw, what, this works better for me. And they just got off their pain pills and they made that choice on their own. Right. As far as interactions go, CBD, it would have the same potential to interact with pharmaceuticals as anything that says, don't eat this with grapefruit. So like, I think certain statins or certain.
What is it with grapefruit?
So what it is that there's a certain enzyme in your liver that needs to be used to digest grapefruit and some certain chemical that's in grapefruit. And that same enzyme is what's digesting that pharmaceutical. And so if you bog down that enzyme with a bunch of grapefruit and you take your pharmaceutical at the same time, your liver might not have enough of that enzyme to process the pharmaceutical. And then you end up with a too high concentration of it in your body. And that can lead to problems. So if something says, don't eat this with grapefruit, the same thing is true for CBD. Don't take CBD at the same time as those meds. But what I'll say is that the studies that were done, we're talking about like 200 at minimum plus milligrams of CBD, whereas most people don't even take that much. And you can always just space it out, right? So if you have the thing that you can't have with grapefruit in the morning, and then you take your CBD in the evening, you should be fine, especially if you're taking lower doses than, 500 or 1,000. Like, it would have to be an extremely high dose of CBD to have an interaction in the first place. But just to be safe, you can always just space it out and give your body some time to digest the pharmaceutical first, have your CBD at a different time in the day. But so interactions is definitely important to pay attention to. As far as coming off meds, though, I'd say that it's an entirely personal experience, right? A friend of mine is very big in the microdosing space and is doing a lot of research on how microdosing psilocybin mushrooms is literally, I mean, there's scientific studies that are coming out right now that show that it's 4 times more effective than the most effective mental meds as far as combating anxiety and depression and mental disorder, mental, I don't want to say disorders, but, mental ailments like that, OCD and things like that. So some people take microdosing mushrooms and they completely get off all those SSRIs and all the crap that gives them bad side effects. Some people take and just reduce
those are the worst, I think, drugs out on the market. And I think they're too quick to hand them out too.
Oh my God. I mean, that we every single pharmaceutical is synthesized from something natural, first off, right? Yeah. So for example, aspirin, well, the Native Americans used to chew the bark of the willow tree, and you chew the bark of a willow tree, you can get rid of a headache. Well, what did Bayer do? They took bark of the willow tree and they took the thing that was in it that was giving you relief from a headache and they turned it into a chemical pill. But every chemical has a cost because it's not natural. So our body doesn't know how to fully process it. So I just like to say that. I always remember that every chemical has a cost, period. And so if there's any way that I can find something that's natural, that's not synthetic, that's not chemical, and achieve the same result that I'm looking for in a natural way, it's always a better route, period.
Yeah, I feel you. I do. It's like, man, I would kill to get rid of all this stuff. I feel like I'm 100, right? I got a handful of pills in the morning.
And then the thing is that they all interact with each other, and some of the pills are to help what some of the pills are causing. And it's a tricky rabbit hole, and I really feel for you on that because, this is a shocking stat. I never thought this was true until I read it, but the average American is on 7 pharmaceuticals, which means that a lot of people are on way more than 7 because I'm not on any, right? And so if there's some people who aren't on any and the average is on 7, that means there are people who are on 15, 20 different pharmaceuticals, and it's like this cocktail of interactions. And it is hard. I mean, it is hard because once you get down that rabbit hole, it's like, okay, now how do I, it's like when you get a nice thin necklace that's really tangled up. It's like, oh crap. Like, how do I get this thing on? Okay. Can I this off?
That is the exact spot that I'm in right now. I truly, truly am. You said you worked with Rick Simpson. Do you also distribute RSO too? Do you have someone help with dosing for stage 4 pancreatic cancer? And my friend is currently taking CBD and THC.
So I don't distribute RSO because we don't do anything with THC because I just didn't have enough venture capital to go into that market, right? It's like it requires like all these lawyers and all this know-how, and just it was just too much. So I stayed strictly to CBD for now. So we don't distribute RSO, but you can get it at any dispensary. And as far as dosage, it really comes down to how much can they handle, right? Like, because I have a buddy who can eat a 1,000 milligram THC brownie, which when I saw that exists, I was like, why does this even exist? Who can handle that? Well, apparently my buddy can. He's a crazy person. He literally can eat them and not.
I can't do edibles.
This. Yeah. Right. It's a truffle, and it is 180 milligram THC truffle because I said I was in a lot of pain. And
that's a lot of milligrams if you're not used to THC.
Right. But now, they said take a little nibble of it.
A nibble.
Thing because.
But how do you dose with nibbles?
I'm like, what is a nibble, right? So you see, this is not open. All right.
Yeah, I would be like cutting that sucker up in pieces.
Well, because 5 milligrams, you could have an effect from 5 milligrams. You can have an effect from 10 milligrams. So it's. But what I'd say is, if you're dealing with an active cancer, the more the merrier on the THC front, and your body knows. That's the magic of this. So, like my father, for example, we started him off on 5 milligrams of THC, and then it was 3 times a day, so 15 in a day. Then it was 10 3 times a day. Then it was 15. Then it was 20. Then it was 25. All up to 35 3 times a day. Then, like, the cancer was damn near gone. And, well, actually, no. By the time he was at 35 consistently, the tumor was entirely dead. And, like, his body was flushing out all the tumor tissue, and everything was dead. And so then he felt like, okay, I don't need 35. And he went down to 30, and then he went down to 20. And now he takes like a maintenance dose, and he's doing like only like 10 milligrams a night, because even 20 was making him feel super stoned, and like his body didn't want that much. It's like if you really get intuitive in your body knows. But what I'd say is the more the merrier until you hit your own personal limits, and then you'll know when it's hard to explain, but you'll know when you get there. The more you take, the more intuitive you get.
Yeah. I just feel like I feel like I've lost it, right? Because my whole life I never took anything really. You know what I mean? I wasn't sick. I was working like a dog. I was hurting. Back. You know what I mean? But never really sick. And then and now it's like, well, we got to put you on this. Oh, you have high cholesterol. Oh, you have this. Oh, you have that. Oh, you have that. You have thyroid. You have that. And I'm like, what? What's thyroid? What is going on with that? Right? So he's not taking this medication. I don't feel any different. I'm like, is this thing even doing anything? Because I felt the exact same. And then they say, oh, well, we have to up it, and we have to up it, and we have to up it. And it's like,
There's two things that are coming to my mind. One is definitely try CBD. And I would start at like 30 just to see how you feel, 30 milligrams at night. But I would move towards 100 milligrams just because you're dealing with many issues. You really just want to like saturate your body and give it that love. That's what I personally think. The other thing that's just pinging me, and this is just an intuition, is EMFs. As we continue to ramp up from 3G to 4G to 5G, the frequencies are getting so high. And people don't realize that the difference between 4G and 5G is not like, oh, it's like double, or, oh, it's like a little bit more. It's like an order of magnitude difference. I think a 4G tower is emitting like 800 hertz and a 5G tower is emitting like 12,000 hertz. And so
it makes the spirits amp up too.
I feel like there's a lot, because what happens is your body, your immune system has a response to those frequencies. And if your immune system is so busy trying to deal with the onslaught of EMFs, it doesn't have its time to do what it's naturally doing, which is clean up in all the other body systems. And specifically, our melatonin gets knocked out of whack. And our melatonin, beyond being what helps us sleep, is also the most powerful antioxidant our body produces, which is why there's cancer clusters around cell towers. It's because melatonin production goes down, which is our most cancer-fighting antioxidant nutrient that we produce. I don't know, the hormone nutrient. I'm not sure exactly what you call it.
EMFs too. That really affects people's health in so many ways. Right? So many ways, and it goes right through a building, right through cement, right through everything. There's nothing really that blocks it. There's some crystals and things. If you look it up, you can protect yourself. However,
there is nothing that blocks it other than like legit a Faraday cage, like putting lining walls of your house. But so there's a company, and I'm not affiliated with them, but I love their products. It's called Blue Shield, blueshield.us. And it's a little bit pricey, but you can get a unit that'll cover your entire house for like $500. And it's actually, so passive EMF protection is essentially a myth. By passive, I mean the stickers on your phone, the crystals, the ionizing salt lamps. It does, because what's actually happening is something called scalar frequencies. So scalar frequencies are sort of like fourth dimensional. They go through time and space. So that's why they go through anything. And so what Blue Shield does with their products is they put out the natural scalar frequencies of the earth, the Schumann resonance, the scalar frequencies that would come off the wind rustling through the trees, that would come off the birds chirping, that would come off a waterfall, that would come off all these frequencies that support the body and that are natural to the body. And basically what they found in their research is that the body doesn't have an immediate negative response to any scalar frequency, 5G, 3G, whatever, except after about 15 minutes of prolonged exposure to a singular frequency. Then the body starts to have an immune response. So when you're around active scalar frequencies, like I have a Blue Shield in my car, a portable one, and then I have a Blue Shield in my house that's like a bigger one that covers the whole house. Basically, because there's always the scalar frequencies of like a waterfall and the Schumann resonance, which is the natural frequency of the earth, those frequencies are always coming out from the machine. So I'm always getting hit with the 5G and the 4G just like everybody else, but my body's not locking onto those frequencies. It's also getting hit with these other ones. And so my body stays in harmony and it doesn't get locked up by these frequencies. And people don't even realize how much of an impact this is playing on our mental health, on our physical health, on inflammation in the body. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, what she put up, Tom Palladino, that was our last guest a couple weeks ago. He sends healing through scalar light. He made a machine like a Tesla type thing. He just took it to the next level, and he sends healing through the light. And that's what it does. It's like it's the waves, and it's immeasurable because it's not like it's not a set science. So you don't know how to measure it, like measuring hertz and whatnot, so. It's
non-three-dimensional frequencies.
EMF is known to, and I've witnessed it in person. It will make you angry. It affects people in different ways, right? So it'll heighten all your emotions, mostly negative.
Yeah, and has the world gotten a little bit more crazy in the last couple of years while we were all locked in our houses from the pandemic, and they were rolling out 5G across the whole country and across many countries?
And can we take a minute of silence for the shootings? I mean, seriously, for the children.
Yeah, I mean, it all seems a little bit much.
Yep. Yeah, I get you. Can we take melatonin supplements to help with EMF protection?
I definitely don't think, I don't think it would hurt, but at the end of the day, you have to look at the root cause. I mean, this is not my expertise by any means. I love this company, blueshield.us, and I think the founder of that company is doing great work in educating people as well. But you always got to think about the root cause, right? So if the root cause of your melatonin being out of whack is that you're under EMF stress, well, yeah, you can take melatonin and try to balance it out, but really you got to get the EMF stress out of there in order, but that's also kind of coming back to CBD. A lot of people's root cause of their disharmony in their body is that their endocannabinoid system or their harmony system doesn't have the fundamental building blocks that it needs because of stress. We make less cannabinoids as we age. We have less cannabinoids naturally in our diet because of prohibition. All these different reasons, just the stresses of modern life are highly accentuated compared to, 150 years ago. Most people were like farmers, right? We didn't have any EMFs blasting us except for, radio waves. We didn't have social media. We didn't have Wi-Fi blasting us. We didn't have constant connection to toxic media that tells us about everything horrible happening everywhere in the world. The only thing that you knew that was bad was like if in your little town someone got hurt, you were like, oh my God, someone got hurt who I actually know, who's actually right over there. We never knew about like exactly what was happening in the horrific terrorist attack in Brussels or whatever, right? Like, so we're bombarded with more stress than ever before. We need supplements to help like fortify our natural systems, basically, which is why do we take vitamin D3, right? Like I take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3 a day, right? Why is that? Well, because I'm not outside as often as my ancestors were, right? I'm not getting the amount of natural vitamin D and other spectrum of goodies that come from the sun. So
I take fish oil, I take D, I take, all these other things, vitamins and whatnot too, because you're not outside in nature.
Right. Why do I have this grounding mat below my desk that's connected to the ground line for earthing? Right? It's because I'm not walking outside with my bare feet every day like I should be naturally, like all my ancestors were naturally. Right. So when you add up all of these things, we've just gotten so far away from how we naturally are meant to live. Like, have you ever been super stressed out and then just gone for a walk in the woods and you feel amazingly better?
Yeah.
Like they call it, it's like a hippie thing now. They call it tree baths.
Tree hugging.
No, tree baths. It's like a San Francisco term, right? Where it's like all these tech people who are standing there in their high rises, they go for tree baths where they just, what does that mean? It means a walk in the woods. Well, guess what? They've shown, there's literally maps of New York City where they can show that where there are more trees, there is less obesity. Where there are less trees, there is more obesity. We are made to harmonize with nature, and nature is made to harmonize with us. We're all one thing.
Well, that's what happened. I knocked my trees down. That's where all my weight came.
Dang. Gotta plant some.
I gotta plant some trees. Now, Nadine says, I've seen EMF protection clothing that uses quantum energy. Would that even protect? I have not seen anything anything that
So
will
I
protect
do
you
know about EMF
from that,
protection.
except
Like,
for maybe that blue shield
well,
thing.
like my friend made a clothing line, I think it was called Reparo, where it was like EMF protection boxer briefs. Because a huge problem with my generation is when these guys go try to make kids, from carrying their stupid cell phone in their pocket right next to their testicles, they're
And then
not going to have a good time of trying to make babies because they're literally radiating their balls. So, and I mean, if you've ever actually read the manual that comes with one of these things, in the manual, it tells you that the safe way to use this phone is to keep it 3/4 of an inch away from your ear.
Yeah,
They tell you not to put the thing against your
I
ear.
never really type this way.
Who talks like this?
Yeah,
No one.
I put it on speaker.
Speakers great, headsets are great. I'm just saying that the average person has no clue that these companies are knowingly radiating your brain because they know you're not good. Not everyone who buys a product is gonna do this, right? They're gonna put it right here. So
Right.
it's just we live in a world that's sort of like a soup of toxicity. And
There
and
is.
so things like CBD, things like vitamin D3, things like grounding mats to get, negative ions out of your body, like all these things are sort of necessary knowledge if you want to not be the 1 in 2 people who are fighting cancer right now. Like it's almost it's like 1 in 2.5 in the USA. And you know what people in China call cancer? They call it Westerners' disease.
No doubt.
Westerners' disease. You know why? Because we have a
don't have
medical system that deals with your sickness. They have a medical system that is interested in your wellness. And so things like acupuncture and things like herbs and all these things, they're not outlawed and bastardized by the pharmaceutical companies over there. That's their medicine. And they haven't let this toxic pharmaceutical company totally usurp the natural medicines that are actually good for us, like we have, unfortunately, largely in the West.
Right. So this could be it. Now you've already proven it with your dad that it did cure his cancer. So, and I always said, it's going to be something natural and something not very expensive that will be the cure for cancer that is destroying how many lives. But they won't ever allow that because Big Pharma, they're making so much
They
money
make so much money.
on all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible. Instead of putting people first, they're just putting, money first. And money is definitely, when they say money's the root of all evil, it certainly hell is, I'm telling you. But I want to ask you something. Now you came up with this pyramid here, several levels of change. And I really want to talk about this.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a great example. This is a total topic shift, but this is super valuable and it does tie into everything we're talking about, right? So when you're talking about healing and holistic wellness, and we're even beyond that, we're talking about like achieving our goals in life and living the life that we want to live. Let's use an example. So for people who are listening and not watching, this is a pyramid of the 7 levels of change. And what it is after 13 years of coaching clients to achieve goals in all areas, as well as doing things like healing my dad of unhealable cancer or whatever you want to call it, I realized that these are the 7 levels that actually create lasting change. And the reason that I had to think about this was because, the stat is over 90%, if not over 95%. And if you hear my daughter screaming in the background, someone's probably trying to put clothes on her. She doesn't like that. But people, the gyms fill up with people in January and then they empty back out in February. Most people don't achieve most of the goals they set for themselves. And thinking, why not? And it's because they don't know these 7 levels, right? So if you look at the 3rd level, that's the one we're all familiar with. It's actions, habits, and systems. It's about doing what it takes, right? So when someone sets a weight loss goal, they say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym this often. I'm going to eat this way. I'm going to drink this much water. I'm going to get this much sleep. I'm going to walk this often. It's all about, they focus entirely on the actions and the habits and the systems. And the reason why most people don't achieve that goal is because of these other 7 levels. So let's start off at the bottom, your environment and your community, right? Optimizing that for support, right? If I want to lose weight and I live in a house where everyone orders McDonald's for dinner every night, how much harder is it going to be for me to lose weight than if I take every chemical food out of my house and have literally nothing in my fridge but fresh fruits and veggies and whole foods and lean meats and all those kinds of things, right? Obviously, if I optimize my environment and my community to support where I want to go, I'm going to get there more effectively, right? So then the second level up, your energy and your vitality. This is just basically acknowledging that the root input of any change in our life is energy, right? We have to, if things in motion stay in motion, right? This is Newton's laws, right? So unless energy enters the system and changes the direction or changes the momentum or changes the course, right? So we need energy and vitality in high supply in order to overcome the natural resistance, the self-doubt, the habituation, all the things that keep us stuck in what we don't want. And so this is beyond, I like to say this is a great place where CBD comes in, right? Because it's like we take the inflammation out of our body, we have more energy. This is also where things like auditing your media come in, right? Like, where are you putting out your energy? How much energy are you spending on the things you can't control versus on investing it in what you can control and what will ultimately bring you greater happiness and fulfillment? So an energy audit is a great thing. And that's the second level. Third level, actions, habits, systems. That's what we're all super familiar with. It's about doing what it takes. Fourth level up, skills and strategy. Mastery of your approach. This is like that Abraham Lincoln quote where he said, if I had 4 hours to chop down a cherry tree, I'd spend the first 3 sharpening my axe, right? That's his strategy. That's his mastery of approach. So bringing it back to the weight loss example, some people say, I'm going to go to the gym. Well, like, do you have the right strategy for your body type, for your fitness goals, for what to do at the gym? Do you have the skills necessary? Do you know the exercises? Do you need to hire a trainer maybe to give you these kinds of things? Do you need to hire a coach? Like, this is where coaching really comes in big, is this bringing the right skills and the right strategy. Next level up, your nervous system. This one is huge. It's about freedom from your past. Like I said earlier in the program, our body keeps score. That's a famous book on this topic. It's actually called Your Body Keeps Score. And it's about how we have a cellular memory. And we don't even just have a brain in our head. We have a brain in our heart. We have a neural network of neural connected cells in our heart and same in our gut. That's why people say things like, I just know in my heart, or I just know in my gut that yada, yada. Right.
Yeah,
so
that's where forgiveness comes into play a lot.
Big time, right? Because we hold on to the other people's hurts and we drink the same poison every day, not realizing that we're the ones who have to drink the poison, right? If you want to send negativity to anyone else, you are the first person who's going to experience that negativity. In order to generate a negative comment, a criticism, an angry energy at someone else, you have to first experience it yourself. So you are the first victim of every piece of negative energy that you want to put out. And beyond that, this is like unconscious, right? We only process as much of an emotional impact of something as we can at the time. So if you're 7 years old and you watch your dog get hit by a car, there's only so much of that you can process before it pops your little brain, right? So your body, being wise and wanting your survival, it takes everything that you can't process and it stores it somewhere in the body, right? But as you grow and as you grow in your capacity and as you grow through life, you're expected to sort of be able to process and heal these things, or you'll see symptoms from them, such as an autoimmune disorder or a pain or an ache or a part of your body that's always tight. This is stuff that's trapped in your nervous system. And there are techniques for taking it out, like EMDR, or I love tapping, EFT work. We actually have a whole free course at Feel Good Library on EFT.
Tapping this.
Exactly. And I actually have a whole course called Tapping Hacks because I got so into tapping that I created a whole bunch of stuff around tapping that I've never seen anyone else teach. And it's all for free at Feel Good Library. So this is where it comes into play, where it's like, okay, I got gut issues. Well, great. Take some CBD and that might help clear it up. But also, like, maybe there's something trapped in your gut emotionally that's ready to release. And the symptoms are here as the beckoning for you to expand in this way, to heal in this way, to become more light, literally to become more of light. And so that's, again, why we offer the Feel Good Library, is to help people to process at all these different layers.
Yeah. And then, so then you go up to...
So sixth level, I'll just do it briefly so we have some time to jam still, but sixth level, identity, values, beliefs. Basically, your subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind. It's beating your heart, it's breathing your breath. It's running so many of your automatic processes. If you want to know where your subconscious mind is misaligned, Just look at what you don't have in your life that you wish you had. And that's where there's probably some beliefs and some values that are misaligned in your subconscious mind. And so not only knowing yourself on a conscious level, but programming yourself on a subconscious level is what this level is all about. You get what you are. And I'll tell you like an example or a statement that I love to say that illustrates this is that belief precedes response. So the example I give always, and it doesn't have to be conscious belief, it can be subconscious belief. And oftentimes, more often than not, subconscious belief, right? So belief precedes response. So let's imagine that you're in the forest and you see a brown bear charging at you. Literally, your body will send more blood to your fingers and your toes. Cortisol will rush through your blood. Adrenaline will rush through your blood. You'll sneeze. Like so much happens in your being because you believe a brown bear is charging you, and this is a life or death moment. Now, if the only thing that changed about the situation was your belief, if you thought that's not a brown bear, that's my buddy John, he's wearing a suit, he's messing with me, it doesn't matter if it is actually a bear. Your entire response changes because your belief changed, right? Because belief precedes your response. So none of the adrenaline rush, none of the cortisol rush, even if it still was a bear and it gets to you and it eats you, all your response changed. So what you program into your subconscious mind, what you believe to be true at the chorus level, what you value, what you identify with, who you believe yourself to be, going back to the weight loss example, if you think, oh, I'm a fatty, I'll always be a fatty, then you're much less likely to continue to persevere through the actions, the habits, and the things, the routines that you said you wanted to have. Whereas if you believe yourself to be someone who values their health, someone who thinks that health and fitness are valuable for long-term quality of life, all these different things, if you have those different beliefs, then they change your response. Then that day where you wake up and you're like tired and you don't want to make the healthy meal and you just want to call McDonald's, you go like, no, actually, I don't want that crap. I want to eat the good stuff. And you make that adjustment. And then just to speak to the last layer at the very top of the pyramid, your intuition, this is about living intentionally. And the example I'll give for this is that, not everything is for everyone. And the more we can sort of download from our deeper wisdom, from our higher self, our subtle self, our all-knowing self, from whatever you want to call it, from the Tao, from God, from our connection to spirit, your intuition and your intuitive connection, it's like any other muscle. If you train it, it will grow stronger. And I've been consciously training my intuition for over a decade, so I know firsthand that it gets stronger with practice. And there's so many people who are chasing things that are not for them. And I think that's a lot of the reason why sometimes people don't reach the goals they want. I'll give you a really clear example. A few years ago, I had a long time ago, it was like 8 years ago, I had a vision board. And on it, there were some women. And these were like porn star looking women, right? Like big fake boobies out, like barely wearing any clothes, like attitude on the face. And that for some reason in my mind was like, this is what I'm manifesting, bros, like super hot porn chicks, right? Flash forward a couple years later, I have a different vision board on my wall, and it also has girls on it. But now I've done some more personal growth. I've done some more self-healing, some more self-inquiry. And the girl on this vision board is wearing a white flowing dress, twirling in a field of yellow daisies. And now that I'm married, I'll tell you, my wife is definitely more the white flowing dress, twirling in a field of daisies chick than she was the parts. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Where did that come from, though? It came from societal programming. It came from, just all these outside influences that weren't true to me. So the more the seventh level, intuition and purpose, connecting into that subtle knowing, into your depths of your being, then you'll know, is a Ferrari really a goal for me? Or would I be much more happy to donate that money to build wells in Africa? What's true for me? And some guys, the Ferrari is the goal, and I hope they go and get it. And cool, Ferrari made some money, and it's a piece of engineering, and it's an amazing thing. And other people are chasing things that are just status symbols that were placed in front of their lizard brain, and they don't even know why they're going after them. So the last layer is about understanding your intuition and just checking in on any goal that you're going for, being like, some people, maybe you do want to go to the gym 5 days a week. Some people, maybe just a walk in the woods 4 days a week is what's calling your name. And that subtle knowing is what's going to help you to define every other layer.
My phone just picked up on this and just started listening to you. It just did it by itself.
Oh, interesting.
Walking in the woods. It was walking in the woods, and it opened up and just started listening to you.
The spirits are here.
Yeah. You would believe it.
The forest spirits.
Craziest thing. Yeah, the Google spirits. Anyway, I don't know how that is going on, but we got a lot of comments going up here, right? So I did want to kind of back up and just give these some love. Positive thinking leads to positive results, and negative thinking leads to negative results. And I think that's when you were talking in the pyramid there. And Mary Jane's,
and I definitely think that's true.
and she's been wanting to take a course in that. Thank you for offering something for free. I wouldn't mind paying, but for the one course around me was over 1,000 online. Whoa.
Well, there's a ton for free at the feelgoodlibrary.com. We do have premium courses too. I have like an elevation program with like my private mastermind, but we offer so much for free that people can go in.
There's a lot too. Yeah.
It's every level of those 7 levels of that whole pyramid is addressed with a course in the Feel Good Library.
Yeah, and you'll like it. It's really easy and simple, easy to navigate site. Everything's on there. Nadine says, I'm very impressed with the show. I'm very excited to check out your products and your learning library.
Oh, thank you, Nadine.
Awesome. And Sharon says, bless you.
You as well.
That's something, and so is Google. Yeah, Google's listening. Yeah. All right, so I caught up. But this is oh my God, we only have 10 minutes left.
I can talk a lot.
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
Thank you. You saved my voice a little. This and she appreciates that. Now, what was it that I was going to answer before? Oh, so in your coaching, so now you still have the yoga studio?
We never had a yoga studio. We did it. We do CBD sound baths at other studios. We like partner with them. Okay. Yeah. But so now that we're moving, we've been out here in the mountains in Utah, outside Salt Lake City, just kind of hibernating, having our first child, getting away from all the COVID madness, and just kind of enjoying the mountains. But after 2 winters in the mountains, my LA woman is ready for the beach, so we're headed back.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah,
you
she's done.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with her.
Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of wisdom, of beauty and prosperity, and especially spiritual prosperity. And it just felt like her name. Like, we weren't trying to be those white people naming the Hindu thing, or it's like hip and it's yogi or whatever. But it just felt true. And so we named her Lakshmi, and then her middle names are Faith and Prayer, so she can choose whichever one she likes when she grows up. If she hates Lakshmi, she can call herself Faith.
That's funny. That is funny. Feelgoodlibrary.com. There it is. Mama D.
I try and put the links into the chat so that people can just click on them. That's
awesome.
Right. And again, let me put this back up here too quickly. All right, so this is both things. So that's the feelgoodlibrary.com and feelgoodhemp.org. And
that's my wifey right there holding a couple bottles.
Yeah. Cutie. I know. And if you watch the beginning of the show and in the video, I have a picture of all 3 of them together in the mountains and holding the baby up. And there's really a adorable picture, like, the picture perfect little family.
I'm so proud. We just went to the pediatrician today, and she's in the 97th percentile for both height and for weight.
And 100% percentile for lungs, because she does not want to get trapped.
Oh yeah, she's breathing hard right now. I think she's kind of an unhappy camper. Unfortunately, we're trying to take care of her.
Keep the clothes off the poor kid.
She doesn't want any clothes on.
Nature
she wants what she wants.
Good. So plans for more children then coming?
Definitely, yeah, at least one more.
Nice.
Yeah, she needs a brother. We'll see.
Yeah, okay. Well, you started off right. You started off with a girl.
There you go.
Sorry, Mama D.
I'm just looking over my questions to see if there's something very pertinent. Human potential, we have been talking about really pretty much the whole show. Oh man. These are actually good commercials. What do you think is the most useful insight that you've come to after all these years of coaching and working with people that you can use to better their lives overall? That's a good question.
I don't know if this is the most useful thing I've ever come across, but it's just what's coming to me right now.
Logan
I think
didn't
for people to get what they want out of life, a lot of the time it's not about what they need to start doing. It's a lot more about what they need to stop doing. I think, especially right now, like we all spend so much time looking out at things we can't control on social media. We're all following the war in Ukraine, and now monkeypox is coming, and blah 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 blah. Fear. And what if we were to take all that energy and redirect it towards our own personal creations of light and love in the world? What if we really were to be ruthless with our time and attention in these short-lived lives on this amazing planet, and this amazing opportunity to be in a body, to be in a life, to manifest in the physical, right? Like, what if we really honored our time and attention? And think about, for example, like the master swordsmith.
If everybody could do that.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if it was Gandhi or maybe it was Mother Teresa. They said the world will know peace when everyone sweeps their own porch. Right. Like when we all take care of, when we all make one kind act a day, when we all take care of our own mental well-being, when we all process our own emotional hurts. Right. It's like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. In the yogic paths that I follow, these paths of self-realization, Paramahansa Yogananda, he said that your self-realization, meaning your realization of who you really are, is one with spirit, one with God, one with the creator, right? That alone is the highest contribution you could possibly make to others. So it has nothing to do with building some business that changes all these lives and does all these things out there. Like, yes, do those things too. And number one, first and foremost, take responsibility for your own vibration, uplifting, and for you literally becoming a lighthouse, a radiant being of light. And I mean, if we look at the examples like Jesus, right? Why are we still talking about this guy? Well, because the ripple of love and light that he left on this planet, and the example that he led through his own connection with spirit. How can a being have their body strapped to a cross, being mutilated by ignorant idiots, literally exude nothing but light? Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do, right? A being can reach that state. Any being can reach that state when you truly know who you are as not this body. My guru says, you are not this house of flesh and bone which sleeps, decays, and dies. You're immortal consciousness, Lord of earth and skies. Right? So when you actually know that, self-realization means to know it experientially. And when you know that, you can be like the Jesus. You can be like the Buddha. You can leave this ripple of love with your example. And it doesn't have to look like, oh my God, I'm so famous, or oh my God, I have all these social media followers, or oh my God, I have this business that's doing all these things. It could literally just be like, oh my God, this man or this woman became the light in a body. And for the few who knew them, right? Jesus had 12 disciples, all right? He wasn't like followed by 500,000 people on TikTok, okay? Right? But the ripple of love is in the fabric. It's in the ethers. And it's the highest thing we can do. So I just think doing less, but making what you do matter more to you first and foremost. And then it will matter that much more to everyone else around you. Like, that is the name of the game in information overload 2022 Western world.
Well said. Well put.
Very well said.
Could not have said it any better. Honest to God. But this is a good question right here, too. Don't want to be rude, but can you ask for your wife's sound bath information?
So if you join the Feel Good Library, then you'll be on our email list and you'll definitely receive info about it. We don't have any specific, here's when our next sound bath is, or anything like that. So, but I'd be happy to stay in touch. And if you join the Feel Good Library, you're on our list, and we'll make sure to let people know about it. But yeah, I see you're from Malibu, so.
Plus, if you keep the Fox Den informed, we will share out as much as we can as well.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and I do get emails. I like the emails. I love the site. You have so much on there. But I want to talk to you after the show. I want you to hang with us for a few minutes because I got a couple.
We're going to torture you a little bit longer.
Sounds
get
good.
more personal questions. Nadine wants to know, is there a mantra that you can share with us?
So I'm by no means a living guru and here to initiate anyone in a mantra, because that's the most powerful mantras you can get is when a master gives you one. But my wife and I have lately been chanting Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, which is the seed mantra of Ganesha. And Ganesha, you know, the elephant guy. Actually,
You have one?
Before I had to put on my, my branded Feel Good Hemp shirt, this is what I was wearing around today. So we got Ganesha in the building. But so Ganesha, he's in the physical, he's the elephant, he's son of Shiva, right? But the actual translation of what Ganesha is he is the expanding force of the universe. So very, very high force, very, very high being, right? It's literally the universe is not only expanding, but it's also accelerating in its expansion, which is another way that quantum physics and that leading edge physics kind of disproves the Big Bang in a sense, or that not everything is as clear cut as Newtonian physics. Because if something explodes and it goes out, well, it should be at a constant rate, but it's not. It's actually it's expanding at a rate that is also accelerating, which doesn't make sense for Newtonian physics. But anyway, that expansive force, that's Ganesha. And when we're stuck with obstacles, that's why they call Ganesha like the remover of obstacles, is because, well, what happens to you when you're having obstacles? You're forced to expand, or you shrink and die, right? There's only two options when you're facing obstacles. Like my friend Sanyika, who's a cool coach, he says, what does a lion surrounded by 12 hyenas have for dinner?
A hyena?
12 hyenas.
12 hyenas.
Because he can't eat 10, there'll be 2 left to eat him. He can't eat 4, there'll be 8. So a lot of times in our lives, we have 12 hyenas around us, and they're nagging at us, and they're blah, 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 blah. And it's, what is life asking us for us to do, though? It's to expand, to become more, to become the person who doesn't have any of those 12 hyenas around them, right? And so Om Gam Gana Pataye Namaha is, and I would recommend doing any mantras that you do them in any number that ends in 9. So like 36 times or 54 times or 72 times or 108 times or 144. 108 is the standard mala. So I like to do 108.
9 is that number of closure and completion.
Exactly. So, and 108 is a very sacred number. So then divisions of 108 are really good as well, like 54 or 36 is 4 times that is 108. So yeah, that's one that I've been loving lately. So it's just what came to mind.
Awesome. And then we have Christ conscience with 1 foot on the ground. That's awesome. And Sharon saying, drop the mic. Thank you all so much.
God bless you guys too.
This has been definitely one for the books. And is there any just last word you want to put out there for people that should do? Or?
A little pearl of wisdom. That you haven't already
last
started.
one. Yeah, my last one is to live it, man. It's just like we all acknowledge that life is short, and it's like short and it's long at the same time. So like live it without the rush, right? Don't live it with fear that if I don't live it now, I'm gonna miss out, and that's all bullcrap. But it's like this present moment is so rich, and this is advice for myself, right? I'm in the middle of a move. I'm running a business. I got a daughter who's 8 months old. Like, holy crap, can I get stressed out right now, right? Yeah. But there's never stress in the present moment. There's always wonderment in the present moment. I'll give just the way I think about it is this. Right now, there are multiple satellites beaming these signals so that we can be talking, right? Like, think about where the lithium and the steel and the metal and the zinc and the copper and all the things got mined to make these computers that we're on, and some engineer figured out how to put them together in a way that created this opportunity, and the screen that I'm on and the house that I'm in where the forest grew the trees, and God, all the things that had to happen for trees to even exist. Like, if you ever get present to what's really going on in the moment, it can only ever be an absolute freaking miracle.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. Do you know what our earth had to go through just to make trees, just so there could be wood in this wall that's behind? Like, there was thousands and thousands and millions of years where this earth did not have trees. Okay. Billions even. Right. And mushrooms, giant stalks of mushrooms were required to terraform the soil in order for trees to even exist with roots. And then someone had to chop them down. And all that had to exist just so I could be sitting on this chair with this wall behind me that I never think about. Right. And all the things that are same true for you guys in your room, all the books that are on your shelf, Gina B, and all the authors and every life experience they had to go through to write those books. And then it's like, this is all just a freaking miracle.
Now, all the people that we've had on this show and all the people that we've brought together that are out there doing amazing things. I've had some of these books I have here wouldn't have happened if I hadn't introduced two people.
That's awesome.
You know? And then like
the synchronicities, the complexity of it all.
And Deanna Simpson, the Hanover Haunting. That book would not have been written had I not introduced them. You know, and hopefully it'll be a movie someday. You know, and I'll say
amazing. And it's just beyond mind. And that's where you get in the present moment. Our minds keep us lost in the past or the future. In the present moment, we live from the heart.
Yeah.
And I think that's certainly what this world needs more of.
Right. 100%. And I think that's a great way to end the show right there. And so hang with us just for a minute. And you guys will see you all next week, hopefully, as soon as Jim gets back to me. We'll have a hypnotist on next week who will help entrepreneurs in their business and stuff. And it should be interesting. But this one was amazing. And I thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys for having me. And thanks everyone for participating. It was really fun.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Share.
Thank you again for joining us for another episode in the Fox Den. We're here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and our Anchor venues. We would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, and please subscribe, share, and definitely hit the notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.